Hello and welcome to The Show. Not just a show, but the show for comic and animation enthusiasts. We bring the finest interviews of amateur and professional artists and display some of their sample works, all in the hopes of helping you create your own artistic pieces of, take our show for example. We're kind of under budget and kind of understaffed too, but I managed to take care of that by creating an exact robotic duplicate of myself to act as my co-host. I like to call him Robo-Me. I managed to fashion him out of a few Intel processors and,
Wait, you're telling me that you've single-handedly done, with no money or manpower, what the world's most... Wait, what the hell is wrong with my voice?
Anyway, first up we have an interview with Pete Abrams, creator of one of the most popular and highly regarded daily comic strips on the web, Sluggy Freelance. Hi Pete, and welcome to The Show, which I might mention is the world's first animated talk show on the web.
It's great to be here. I've been a fan of the show for years. I'm just really happy to be here.
This is the first episode.
Oh, I know, it's the first episode that I'm on, and I hope to come back on a lot more, because, this is just a riot. Where's Zorak and Brack?
This isn't Space Ghost.
What are you gonna do?
Pete, come back, you're gonna kill us, man! We gotta fill the time! So, you've churned out a comic every day for the past few years, including full-color Sundays, I might add. How long does it take you to do a strip on average?
But the amount of time varies a lot. Scripting seems like something I'm doing all the time. When it comes down to the actual... Once I have the plot figured out, once I have the punchline and everything written, I can normally do a standard daily in a couple of hours. Depending upon how many explosions there are and, how many special effects, ghosts and things like that, which happen quite a bit. So, yeah, that's my whole life.
So what additional help do you need?
I handle all the production work on Sluggy. The only help I have is Joe Sunday, who's been helping me out for a year plus now, coloring just about every Sunday that you see, and that is a big time saver for me. Shirt Guy Tom, who I remember when he was ironing shirts, ironing on transfers shirts, the first Sluggy shirts we were selling, and it eventually progressed to the point where now they go out and have them silkscreened and that kind of thing. He's been my assistant for a long time. He just got a sweet job at Blizzard working on Diablo stuff, so he can't help me as much anymore. But with him and Joe Sunday and Thyla and Trillian, I've got a lot of people. And they're all really wonderful because I don't pay them and they still help me. Except for Joe, I pay a little. Not much.
I see. And how did promotion start out for you?
Well, let's see. When I first started out, I remember sending out an email to everybody I knew, letting them know about the strip and what was going on. I also found it was helpful to go into some news groups, and if there was a news group that might enjoy a strip in particular, I'd just say, hey, come check out the strip. And that was pretty much it at first.
Have you ever tried out syndication or other publishers?
I never really have. I think one of the things that makes Sluggy kind of interesting is, as far as online comics go, is I never saw the internet as a stepping stone towards syndication or publication. Sluggy's always been exactly what it is, a online comic designed for the net. That's one of the things that allows me to do these long, involved storylines, is the fact that I know I have an archive system that everyone can play catch-up on. I could never do that in syndication, so I've never even bothered.
Do you find conventions useful or freaky?
Conventions are great. I love conventions. I don't get a chance to meet a lot of fans and stuff like that because, I don't allow them anywhere near my house. But conventions give me an opportunity to go out and meet a lot of people, sign stuff for them, which we can't normally offer, and it's just a lot of fun. And it's pretty good promotion, too, although, as we discussed before, anyone who sees the URL and goes checks out my site probably will wonder, what the hell? Unless they have a friend actually telling them to check it out. That's worthwhile. But yeah, I love conventions.
Conventions. Yes. Ha.
The Ed McMahon thing just isn't working. How about you try asking some questions instead?
Okay, so Pete, do you have a lot of fans?
Yes.
Are they obsessive fans? Really obsessive fans?
Yes.
Really obsessive?
Yes.
Really obsessive?
Yes.
Really obsessive?
I think we should move on.
You'd think that, wouldn't you? But I have here information implicating you as a ringleader of a Slugite cult, which is poised in key positions around the world, ready to seize power.
Listen, the Slugites are incredibly wonderful and loyal fans. I mean, the only things you have to remember is you can't look them in the eye, and don't go through the icebox in the back of the house. They hate that.
I think we should move on now.
You don't think any of them are gonna, see this interview, do you?
I think you're safe, Pete.
Whew, okay. Next question.
So, Pete, where did you get your names from?
Well, I tried to come up with, short and interesting names. Riff specifically came from Riff Raff from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and Torg I got from this character called Torgo in this horrible movie called Manos Hands of Fate, one of the worst things that Mystery Science Theater 2000 ever covered, and a personal favorite.
So, Pete, tell me, what do you think makes for a better story? Something that's plot-centric or character-based?
I think it's got to be a mixture of both of them. I mean, you need the strong characters to move the plots. But, I mean, in Sluggy, there's some storylines that are all based about the characters and their growth and change and the way they move around. And others are really driven by the plot. You can't break a character because of the plot. I guess that's the only guideline. But you're really trying to mix it all together. And some stories are just based on jokes. You know, the humor that I've got to tell. So it's a whole cornucopia of stuff that goes in there.
So, Pete, what kind of materials do you use? Is it all digital?
I do the line work. I do the line work on just regular sheet of paper with regular magic marker, as you can probably see here. Then that gets scanned into the computer, where I take it into Photoshop. And from there, I add in the text, I fill in a lot of blacks, I add color as needed, and what have you.
Okay, Pete, we're getting down to the wire. One away from the big one. Now then, who are your most influential, influences? Artistically, I mean.
Now, this is a difficult question for me to answer. I've been asked it many times. I get influenced by so much that I see, so many people, so many names I couldn't list them all. But a couple that spring to mind immediately. One is Rumiko Takahashi, who does Rambo 1/2. And she just has such an excellent balance of blacks and whites and can really tell a really good story, even an action-packed one, and you can really follow the action from panel to panel. The other one, of course, is Bloom County, Burke Brefford. I think that's how you pronounce the last name, but I'm really not sure. But I always loved his rhythm of telling a joke. And that's something I've tried to emulate, but the all-time favorite comic strip guy ever.
Okay, Pete, last question. The one everyone has always wanted to know. What does Sluggy Freelance mean?
Oh, hold on a second. My wife's making too much noise.
Pete! Pete! I think we lost him. What are we going to do to fill time?
I've got some movies. Death, destruction, world domination, that kind of stuff.
Cool. Wait a minute. Snow, The Further Adventures of Kanoko?
That's not mine.
Too late. It's already queued up. Dude, that was like cute and touching.
I know, I cry every time I watch that.
I thought you said that wasn't yours.
Screw you.
Well, I guess we're finally at the end of the show. You know, you did pretty good for having XP as an operating system.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank our viewers for watching us, because now I have a chance to scan their hard drives and alert the authorities to any illegal MP3s and whereas that they might have.
All hail Master Gates.
He's kidding, folks, really. Hey, Pete, help me out here.
There are two types of fish out there. There are sharks and there are guppies. Keep your eyes out for the sharks. A good pair of rubber lederhosen should take care of the guppies. Swim safe out there and keep those guppies out of your butt. Good night, everybody.
This just bites is all.